it's always what if with the Clippers, even back to, when KD was in the Warriors, I think 2018, 2017, when they had, all those pieces with Shea and all around them. And you're like, oh, what if one star consistently plays on this team? And then they do the huge trade, they get the players, and then they don't stay healthy. They have one run in the bubble and they fall apart in game 7. So it's been just such a roller coaster, and it's just a whole lot of what ifs with this team, and makes you seriously consider whether you do trade him, what you do with just him on the team. I mean, they're about to. I think one thing that was brought up is that they are about to finally move to their own arena, kind of move out of the shadow of the Lakers. So they kind of need someone to fill those seats, kind of need someone there. But, next year he has a player, or not next year, the year in 2 years, he has his player option, 48 mil, right now at 45.5 mil. I mean, I think if I'm the Clippers, you just tough it out. Like we mentioned, with moving to that new arena, you have him there. Either you trade him next year, or you just don't resign him, because it's only a short time left on his contract. So I don't think it should be too big of an issue. You need a superstar still. So, but it is tough to see the Clippers go out like this, even though the Suns were playing great.
And the thing about Kawhi's season this year was he was still missing games. He still didn't have the total number of games like he had the last several seasons, the last 5, 6 years, but he was playing more in the second half of the year than I think he's played in any of the last couple seasons. If you go and look at his game logs, you can see him ramping up 4 games in a row, 5 games in a row, 6 games in a row. And just the fact that this is probably the largest load he's carried in terms of minutes the last couple of years, this stretch since the new year. The fact that he did that and then got hurt in the playoffs after doing it again last year, it's just very concerning if you're going into these last 2 years paying Kawhi such a big number. And he's missed so much time, in fact, since the 2017-18 season, that he's played fewer minutes since then than Klay Thompson, who has missed 2 full seasons of NBA action.
Wow.
He's played less minutes than Lonzo Ball, who has never started 60 games in his NBA career, less minutes than Lou Williams and Thomas Satoransky, who are out of the league. He's played less
Wow.
minutes than them since the 2017-18 season, less minutes than Anthony Edwards, who is in his third NBA year, and less minutes since 2017-18 than Blake Griffin, who has done the roast of Alec Baldwin since 2017-18. So it hasn't looked good for Kawhi Leonard the last 6 years. And like you said, if they were to trade him, I wonder how bad it's gotten at this point, especially now you throw in the torn meniscus, another injury this late in the year, and who knows what his availability will be for the 2024 or the 2023-2024 season. So I went to the trade machine, Sam. I got a couple of fake trades. If
Oh,
I could throw them at you, we can
all
see
right.
how bad the Kawhi Leonard thing has gotten. A little Who Says No Kawhi Leonard edition. If the Brooklyn Nets call the Clippers and say, we'll do Ben Simmons for Kawhi Leonard, who says no? Kawhi Leonard, injured, tore his meniscus, may not play next year. You have to pay him 45 mil, and then you get him on the player option, 48 mil in 2024. Or Ben Simmons, who says no?
I think that's one of the best trades we've heard on the pod. Definitely the most original. I don't know. I think the Clippers say no. I think they still, they would want obviously more in the package. Maybe they'd probably take Claxton. Maybe they could take, Joe Harris or Seth Curry, somewhere there. Maybe make the salaries match up, a couple picks. But if they throw more in the package, I think it would be an interesting thing. I think it would definitely be their blow it up kind of thing. Paul George and Kawhi are on similar timelines. Like we mentioned, they're also Kawhi, or Paul George does have one more year next year, and then the player option year after. So, if you do blow it up, you could probably trade both guys. And yeah, I think it'd be easier to pry, obviously Paul George for Ben Simmons straight up. I think that'd probably be a trade they could do. But yeah, Kawhi, yeah, they would need to throw a little bit more for Kawhi. Yeah, maybe young player, a couple picks, maybe one veteran. But that'd be a very interesting trade. And the Nets could deal with another superstar who, is gonna give them headaches, and the Clippers get a player who never plays it again. So, they're trading problems, I guess.
Joe Tsai refuses to sleep. He loves the nightmares. He says, trade me Kawhi Leonard. Let me deal with all the superstar issues. So if it's not bad where it would go Kawhi for Simmons, it probably wouldn't go Kawhi for Gobert then. If Minnesota calls, they offer Rudy Gobert for Kawhi Leonard. At
No,
least Rudy
that's a
Gobert is
hard pass.
available next year.
That's a hard pass. There's no way. I don't think either team would want to do that.
You don't want
Because
Rudy
like
Gobert to punch Eric Gordon?
I don't, I don't think like obviously I don't think the Timberwolves would want to take on someone who one takes the ball out of Anthony Edwards' hand, who we're gonna talk more about. And two, they're a young team. They just need someone to be out there. So I don't think so, but that's it is an interesting thought experiment. 2K, I'll do it in a second. Um, I don't know if the fit really makes sense for the Clippers of bringing in Rudy, but if it's the Timberwolves, if it's 2K, I'll do it in a second. But
And if you're the Timberwolves, then you can get out of the last couple of years of Gobert's contract. Even if Leonard doesn't play next year, it's only 2 years of Leonard versus, the Gobert extension.
yeah,
Another big contract guy, if this team wanted to potentially get out of long-term having to pay this guy too much money, if Washington calls and offers Beal,
I guessed it. Oh yeah,
Kawhi for Beal, Beal is 46 mil in 2023, 50 mil in 24, 53 mil in 25, and 57 mil in 26. Kawhi, you could shorten the amount of money you pay when he's on the court. He's a higher peak of a superstar. And if you're the Clippers, you get a guy who's out there. Beal maybe in a different situation can return to the sort of borderline all NBA, third team all NBA role he was there in Washington before he got the extension. But Beal for Kawhi, who says no?
I think Washington weirdly says no. Because I think Bradley Beal would actually be an interesting piece on the Clippers. They kind of like that guard, shout out Norman Powell. They kind of like that guard, scoring option. They're a solid defensive team, but that's not their focus. So maybe if they throw in Bones Hyland, who, we might as well talk about. I am not a super huge fan of Bones Hyland. Like, he had a rough series, but even before this, I kind of understand why the Denver Nuggets got rid of him. And his stuff really showed up this year with, or this specific series against the Suns. Just it was like he just seemed like it was a ball hog who wasn't doing much, and not much besides going to score, and just took up a lot of shots. But hey, if you send them, Jackie McMullen's article from last year, I think she did it last year or 2 years ago, send them some highlights, tell them not to watch anything from this series. Maybe they can convince them. But I think if the Clippers send him and like a second rounder, if they have any picks left from all the other stuff, maybe they send him and something else, I think they could get the trade done for sure. And yeah, I think it'd be Washington, but you could sweeten it a little bit and convince them.
And if they got Bones Hyland led the Nuggets in field goal attempts per 36 minutes, almost 20 shots a game. Trade him to the Clippers. Gosh.
Wait, how many shots?
I don't have the number pulled up, but it's 19 point something. It's almost 20 shots a game.
That's wild. That's wild. Yeah. Like, let's take a moment. He's got Jokic, Jamal Murray, Eric, and Michael Porter, and Bones Hyland. Anyway, you keep going. Sorry, but 20 shots is wild.
Well, wild. Trade him to the Clippers. He's tied for first on the Clippers in shot attempts per 36 minutes. Tied with Paul George, 18.6. So send Bones Hyland to the Nuggets. He can lead the Nuggets in shot attempts. Or the Wizards.
Or the Wizards. Yeah. No, I mean, sure. I mean, he would be taking Bradley Beal's role there. He can take all those shots. Golly, man. It's just not it. Not efficient enough and too many shots. Um,
One more, one
but
more,
oh, one more. Okay. My bad, my bad.
one more.
Let him cook.
This one's kind of crazy. This one, honestly, this one might be the first ever turn the camera off. Like, I don't know.
Oh, oh, oh.
This one's wild.